Morning everyone, it's Friday, which of course means it's time to get creative with me. I'm Gareth, if no one's met me before, but hopefully you will have seen some of my videos previously. If you're popping up, do say hi, it's always nice to see you all. And what a lovely day it is today as well. It's absolutely beautiful weather out there, hope you're enjoying it and staying safe. So today I thought we'd do a bit of creativity with making something again. I've tended to do a few variations on things, whether that's drawing or making or other sort of creative outlets. So this morning what I thought I'd do is, seeing as I've got a glut of lolly sticks left over from some of the things I did previously, is make some miniature garden furniture. The main reason I thought I'd do that, apart from just having a wealth of lolly sticks from previous things that I'd ordered, was that Victoria, who I'm sure you know if you've been watching Trustings Live, is actually looking after one of our guinea pigs over in Shoebury, or from Shoebury at the moment. And I can guarantee you, if you are missing those guinea pigs, I know how spoiled rotten they were when they were over at Shoebury, but I can guarantee you they've been living the high life since they've been adopted over the lockdown period as well. I don't know if Victoria mentioned it previously on one of her videos, but she's also got a thing for miniature furniture. So I thought what would be nice is to make a nice little picnic table for little Godwin to sit at while he's having some lunch. The only other thing that I thought with that as well is I saw Tracy's video this week on making miniature gardens, and actually a nice little feature for a miniature garden would be some miniature furniture as well. So if you've done a miniature garden, then that would also link in with this. But like I say, my main thought was for the guinea pigs. As you know, or as you may know, we do have chickens over at Westcliff. We've got guinea pigs over in Shoebury, and we do love our animals here at Trustlinks. Strangely enough, we are starting a crowdfunder next week for to raise some money to build a new enclosure and run for our chickens over at Westcliff. So keep an eye out for that. Because that would be, anything you could give towards that would make a real difference. I can see I've got Mark and Georgia watching. Hello to both of you, nice to see you. So I'm going to crack on. I actually did make a example picnic table last night, which while I was carrying the glue gun and everything I'd need in for my live today at Rochford, I've managed to break. So I haven't got an example to show you at the moment, but I'm going to use that as my guide as I go along, and hopefully get something that will last and be quite sturdy by the end of it. So what we're going to need today is lolly sticks. Perfect weather for it. If you haven't got any plain lolly sticks lying around, if you didn't buy any for the previous one that I did with the garden feeder or bird feeder for the garden, just get out, get yourself some lollies, enjoy the sunshine, save them up. We're going to probably need about 20 lolly sticks today, I believe, and a pair of scissors. I'm using a glue gun, but you can also use PVA glue or super glue. PVA will take a bit longer to dry though, so just bear that in mind if you are using PVA, that you will have to spend a bit more time just to let it dry. So without further ado, I'm going to try and turn this camera around so you can see what I'm doing. Hope that the selfie stick that I'm using holds up. There we are. So like I say, we are making a picnic bench which can go into your miniature gardens that you made with Tracy last week. I say this is half of one at the moment. I will show you the finished product as we go along. But also can be used as a bird feeder. I've seen people use them as little things for squirrel feeders. So, like I say, it could be decorative. If you've got children, they've got a doll's house, or they've got dolls that they can play with, it's good for them to get involved with as well. So, a bit of a craft for everybody today. So first off, we're going to start with making the base. So you're going to grab 2 lolly sticks and just chop the ends off. A nice motion like that. Now, the height of your legs, this is the leg piece here, height of your legs, or the size of the table, will be determined by the height of your legs. So if you wanted to make this a bit smaller, then you can obviously just try and get it in proportion and just make those legs a bit smaller as you go along. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make one that's going to be suitable for our lovely guinea pigs to sit on. So I'm going to make it the same size as I made yesterday. Like I say, you can actually use less lolly sticks to make it smaller, or more lolly sticks to make it bigger. But the important thing is, if you find some images of picnic tables, it's just to try and get the proportion right. So the size of the top and where the seats come out will be sort of in proportion with each other to make it look like an actual miniature version of the real thing. So let's say, so you're starting with your base. So you want to chop off the rounded edges of your lolly sticks. Like so. Once you've done one, you can use that one as a template to cut the next one. So they're the same size, and you want to have 4 of them the same size, so 2 for each side. So I'm going to chop another 2. Like so. Just there. So you end up with 4 lolly sticks. No, I've only got 3. You end up with 4. All of the same size, which is going to create your base for your table. Like so. So to create your legs, which is what these are, you want to put a dab of glue in the middle of one of those lolly sticks, and it's not quite in the middle. Shift that glue over a little bit, create a nice X shape like that. Stick that down. Be careful not to burn yourself with glue if you're using hot glue gun, or if you are using PVA. You want to set that aside for a minute to dry out until it's nice and sturdy. And you do the same with the other side. You can use this one then as a guide as well. So if you place that on top, dab of glue in the centre, because you want to make it symmetrical so it will stand up on its own without being wobbly. So you can lay one on top of the other and create those 2 X shapes, which are exactly then the same size and shape. Like so. Brilliant. Okay. So as you can see on that one, we're then going to, they will create your legs, or the stand for the tabletop to sit on, like that. And as you'll know from sitting on picnic benches before, you get a cross bit which then the seats sit on. Now I found with this one yesterday when I was making them, that actually to keep it in proportion, one lolly stick is not going to be long enough to stick your legs on either side. So what I'm going to do today, as a variance on my test run I had yesterday, is chop the ends off of 2 lolly sticks to create a bit of a longer frame for it to sit on, like so. Major actually is a little bit shorter. You can have a bit of a play around with how big or how long you want these to be. But if you look at that, that's about how much I've chopped off of each one there. So again, with the X's that you've just created, dab of glue, slap bang in the middle, and then stick these 2 as straight as you can. It's important to keep them straight, otherwise your seats were not going to be level. Actually, I've just realised that's the top and the bottom. I'm going to stick them around that way instead. So if that's sitting down like that, you want these as nice and straight out as you can get them, like so. What I'm going to do quickly is, because these are the bits that are going to sit on the ground, I'm going to level off those edges so it's got a nice flat surface to sit on, like so. And that way you can also look out to see that that's going to be nice and flat. So if you what I should have done before I stuck that one on was actually to have cut for the other side as well, so you can make sure they're the same length. But you can always do it by eye afterwards. That one's good. And we'll do the same with that side. There. Chop it off. Nice strong sharp pair of scissors does the job for this. You can also use a craft knife. These scissors are quite difficult to actually get through the lolly stick with. I forgot to bring my scissors with me today, so I'm limited as to what resources I've got, but they are doing the trick. So you then want to check on there, make sure that's the right size, and do exactly the same on your other side of your leg, like so. Stick them into the middle. Don't worry about the excess glue. If it starts sticking out, you can always scrape that on off afterwards. But generally speaking, if you're sticking things onto the inside, it probably won't show if the glue dab happens to be on the inside of the table. If that's going to be the outside, you've got a nice clear surface there. So there you have it, there's your legs. The only thing I need to do is just make sure I level that and that off again for your base. Try and make it as symmetrical as you can for each side, so it's not going to be all over the place. And then I'm going to create a stand for the tabletop to sit onto. Blimey, these scissors. Right. Top of your stand there, hopefully you can see that. So that's your base where you squared off your edges for it to sit on. That's where that horizontal beam there is where your seats will sit onto, and we're just going to add a little strut across the top, the width of your X for the table to glue onto as well. So if you line it up, make a mark, and chop that across. Put a double glue at the top there, double glue at the top there, is because you've got an X, so it's going to be a different level. I'm going to stick a little bit of an offcut of lolly stick on there to make that side and that side the same height, so it's not going to end up getting all wobbly and uneven, because if you're going to then stick this straight across, you'd end up with it going down on that edge. If you pop a little bit of an offcut in the middle, you'll get a nice straight edge, which is what we're after. And again, and do exactly the same this side. So line it up, make a bit of a mark, or grab it with the scissors so you know exactly where it is that you're cutting to. Grab a bit of an offcut of things that you just had, stick that onto the edge to level it off. Then another glue dot there and there. Just stick across like so. So there you have your finished legs to go each side of your tabletop, which we're about to make now. Like I say, you can scale this up and down. If you'd like this to be smaller, then obviously just do a smaller X. Then you probably have one length of lolly stick to go across, and you can make this as big and small as you need. So if you want to keep it in proportion with your miniature gardens, if you've made one of them, or you want to make it bigger so you can sort of feed some squirrels in your garden, or use it as a little bit of a feature. My daughter's got a fairy garden at home, which this would quite happily sit quite nicely in, but obviously you can make a smaller one as well. Just have a bit of a play around with how many you'd need, but the one I'm making today will require 8 lolly sticks for the top. Now you'll find with normal or actual picnic tables, there's normally a gap in between the wood at the top. I didn't actually put a gap in just in case I wanted to put any bird seed or anything on there to feed things with. I didn't want it falling through the middle, but if you want to make it look a bit more authentic, you can always add that on. So, like I say, for the top I'm going to use 8 lolly sticks. So if you get them all, line them up. The one I made yesterday, I did end up chopping off the rounded edges. Today I actually thought I'm going to leave the rounded edges because I thought it actually gave it a nice look to it. But if you wanted to have a nice square edge, then you can always chop the edges off. But like I say, today I'm going to line up 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Get rid of that one. And that's going to form your tabletop. That one is a little bit bent, so I'm going to swap it out for that one instead. Use another lolly stick just to square off that edge. And then we're going to add some struts across there to support it and to glue it to. So if you measure first, see how long you're going to need that. I'd recommend doing one each side, so you want 2 roughly the same size. Like I say, it's going on the other side of the table, so it doesn't need to be massively neat. Just needs to be long enough so you can pop a line of glue. Line them up again, and then pop a line of glue along your lolly sticks like so, and firmly press that down to stick those all together. Do the same with the other side. so. And although I've got a little bit sticking out there, which I'm going to chop off, that's created your tabletop, which we're again going to stick onto our legs. So it takes a bit of time just to get a craft knife or the edge of the scissors just to take off the excess bits of glue. And then if you've got any bits of lolly stick that are sticking over the top of your frames where you're going to be gluing, just take a bit of time just to trim them off now to make sure we stick them nicely on. So you grab one of your table legs, decide which edge is going to be the outside edge and which is going to be the inside edge. Because this is the cleaner edge where I've done all the gluing on the inside and I've got a join there, I'm going to stick that as an inside edge, so you're going to see the nice bit on the outside. And run a line of glue along that top strut that we made, like so, and stick that just on the inside of the curved bits of your lolly sticks, and just look at it from all angles to make sure that that's upright and straight while it's setting. Perfect. And then do the same with the other side again. So that's going to be my outside, so I'll just stick it on like so. Just going to clear off some of the excess glue from that bit. Put a nice thick line of glue along there, trying to get any excess glue that's on there onto what will be the inside of the table, so it's less obvious, less to scrape off afterwards, but still keeps it nice and strong. Chop that bit off there. So we can stick that firmly down. There's no harm in sticking a little bit of extra glue on the inside as well, just to reinforce it. Let's say this one will be made for little Godwin, our guinea pig, who apparently has been spoiled rotten throughout lockdown, and as a result has probably had about 3 square meals a day, lots of treats. I've been told that it needs to be nice and strong to hold his weight. So that's the challenge today, is to make it robust enough to hold a nice sturdy guinea pig. So that's how you attach your legs on, like so. So you end up with a nice little structure like that. If you're finding it's a little bit wobbly, you can always go back afterwards, level it off. I've got a bit of a wobble there, so what I'll probably do is, with some sharper scissors or a knife, craft knife, just chop that bit off there just to make it a bit more sturdy, a bit less wobbly. But first off, I'm going to make the little seats. So for your seats, they attach to your struts that come out here. So you're going to put a line of glue there and there, and using 2 lolly sticks, pop 1 and 2 next to each other like so, and then do exactly the same for the other side as well. You see I've left a little bit of a gap on the inside of those tables, of those things for the bench, like so. So there you have it. That's your little picnic table. You can then go around, you'll see that there's bits here that are sticking out a little bit further than others. Obviously, if you've got a bit more time and you can pay a little bit more attention to detail, you can make sure they're all the same sizes. Just wanted to do a quick demonstration this morning, and like I say, you can make that as big and small or small as you'd like. So you can make it obviously bigger, or you can make it smaller by using less lolly sticks, but just try and keep the same sort of proportion, so you've got a nice gap in between where the things would sit and the tabletop there. So you can go around afterwards with a nice sharp pair of scissors and just fix any issues. Like I say, this one's a little bit wobbly. I can see what the issue is that one's lower than that one. So you just need to chop off that edge there. There you have it. One little miniature picnic table for this case a guinea pig, or for birds, squirrels, or for a miniature garden. Anything you'd like, really. I thought that was quite cute. Anyway, nice to see you all. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the weather, and I'll see you again next week. If you've got any ideas of things that you'd like me to cover or would like me to make or do again, I'll quite happily take any suggestions, so please let me know. Take care. Bye bye.